In this video I will discuss a bit about the data model we use in TestCenter. TestCenter manages 6 data entities. Requirements, and that is what defines the project's expected result, or the product's result, if we want to develop something. A test case is an instruction how to verify that a specific requirement is fulfilled. And a test run is a collection of test cases that we want to execute as a defined activity in order to verify that a specific release is compliant with the requirements. A release is the actual test object, and it is a unique version or release of the project results. Typically in a development project it would be a version or a sprint if you work in an agile environment. Resource is something that you need in order to execute a specific test case. It could be actually anything, an instrument, a simulator, software, a cable, or whatever you need in order to carry out or in order to execute the test case. It's not always that we manage this type of information, but sometimes it's needed. A testbed is a collection of resources. So this is the data model. The lines between the squares is representing direct many-to-many relationship in the data model. And between test runs and releases we don't use many-to-many. It's many-to-one. You can have several test runs related to a specific release, because you can test the same release several times with different perspectives. You might want to focus on different parts of the release for different test runs. And for example, you would like to could collect all your automated test cases in one test run and all manual test cases in another one, and you use both test runs to verify the compliance of the release. But you cannot use one test run to test more than one release. You might wonder, where do we have the actual test results in this model? Well, test result is not a specific data entity. It's actually information that is always related to a test case and a test run. So test result is information that you get when you execute a test case in a specific test run. So the result of a test case can be different in different test runs. Based on the direct relationships, we can have information about how data entities indirectly relate to each other, and that is something that we use TestCenter for. In an actual project, you might have many requirements and many test cases and several releases that you want to verify in many different test runs. So you see that the overall picture of information related to testing can be quite complex. In TestCenter we work with something we call views. So a view is compared to what you want to focus on. So let's say you working with requirements, and then you have the requirement view, and in that view you can see how requirements are related to test cases or to test runs or to releases. When you're executing test cases and you're doing the testing, then you typically would like to work with a test run view, and then you would like to see how a test run is related to test cases. That is, what test cases should I execute. You might be interested in understanding what requirements do we cover in this test run, or you would like to understand what resources do I need to prepare in order to be able to execute a test run. So Test Center is really about efficient management of all these relationships and to visualize that in the graphical user interface. And we do that in a consistent way. We always have what we call the primary data on the left side and the secondary data on the right side. That means if we are working with requirements, then we put requirements on the left side, and on the right side then we can see how other data records are related to that one. For example, in this picture we can see that requirement number 5 relates to 5 different test cases, and that means we need to execute these 5 test cases in order to verify this requirement number 5. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for listening, and please look at the other videos. Thank you.